everybody. Welcome to another edition of HNN News. I'm Andrew Grell.
And I'm Levi Meineke. Our top story takes place in the kitchen. Here, things are really cooking here at Pillager High School.
That's right, Levi. The Pillager Pro Star team is having a season to remember. After winning our school's first state championship in any activity, the Pro Star team is preparing for a trip to the national championship in Washington, D.C. Paige Crystal has the story.
This year's Pro Star team has been working real hard and have made it to nationals for the first time ever. They get to go to Washington, D.C. for nationals on May 1st and compete on May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They all have their own thoughts about nationals and are all very excited to be a part of the first crew going.
I think Pro Star was successful because of the people we got back here. You know, we obviously have a few people who are pretty seasoned, and then we have people who, like me, who are new but willing to learn. And I think that our willingness to learn has definitely played a big factor. Because it's something that Pillager's never done before, and I think it's gonna be a really good experience for us, especially, you know, nobody's ever done this before, especially at Pillager.
The Pro Star team was the first Pillager activity to win a state championship, but they know the nationals will be even more difficult.
Everything that we've been practicing, we have to just execute, and I think it'll take a lot to beat us.
I think it will take focus, but also having fun and then just being very well prepared in advance, yes.
The Pro Star team practices 3 times a week at 6 a.m.
Just that we're really excited and we're so happy that we've had a lot of community support. The kids are really excited about that. We've had a lot of the community rally behind us, and we're very happy.
We all wish them good luck and to have fun at nationals. I'm Paige Crystal for HNN.
The Pro Star team leaves for the national championship in Washington, D.C. on May 1st. We wish them all the best.
The winter of 2023 doesn't seem to want to give up, and it's having some serious effects on our spring sports program. Hannah Bergson has more.
The late arrival of spring has affected everyone, but nobody more than the spring sports teams.
It's the 5th week of practice and we're still inside, so that's never a good thing when you're an outdoor sport, to be inside for 5 weeks. I think the longest was 4 weeks about 4 years ago. And then when we got outside, it was doubleheader, and we're going to be going to that situation. So it's not as fun, I'm sure, for the girls to be inside like this.
You can only do so much inside. After a while, it kind of gets repetitive. Some of the guys start getting bored with it, so we got to try and change things up the best we can each day. I mean, today was 70 degrees outside, so we got to go to a parking lot. I mean, that alone boosted morale a little bit, got to do something a little bit different, so I think that's helped so far.
Down in like the cities and stuff like that, they get like a head start on their season because they're getting outside. Like the snow melted a lot faster down there, and so like a lot of us aren't getting outside until just this week. So when we touch the ground for the first time, it's going to be probably our first game. So we're definitely going to be, the first 2 weeks is probably going to be like practicing for our game is going to be how that's going to go.
Snow and weather have definitely affected this year's season. Usually we're outside on the field by now. We've already had our spring cleanup in the past years, but we're still stuck in the gym, so we're hoping to get outside and get on the field as soon as we can.
The teams are making the best of the situation by doing what they can inside.
We can't field inside, so we need to be outside to really just emphasize and practice what we need to be doing in a game situation. Because right now, our first time outside doing a full infield outfield is going to be in a game. And that's going to be a big hindrance to what we can do.
But the biggest concern is the game schedule.
We've canceled now around 3 weeks of canceling activities because of snow. I foresee probably another week or two at least of canceling, and so it means we have to move indoors for a lot of our practices, almost all of them, and it can be frustrating for the kids because they want to be outside, and doing a month of practice and not having any chances to compete gets super frustrating. So yeah, it has been a pain this spring for sure.
The good news is warm weather will eventually be here, and the Pillager spring sports teams plan to be ready.
I would just say, if you guys want, you can come to our games. We're going to be really good.
I'm Hannah Bergson for HNN News.
Thank you, Hannah. Never fear, spring will get here, and we wish all the spring sport teams good luck when it does.
And while we're on the subject of the weather, let's check in with our HNN weather reporter, Corbin Brown, who can hopefully tell us something better about spring.
Welcome to HNN News Weather. I'm Corbin Brown. As you can see, spring is finally upon us, but not as much. For as the next 2 days, there will be snow. And, well, we don't like that. But thankfully, after that, it should finally stop. So it will be cloudy, but the sun will eventually come to us next week. Back to Andy and Levi.
Thank you, Corbin. You know, Levi, spring is also a time of testing, besides for testing my patience, especially tests like the MCAs, or for those who are interested in college, the dreaded ACT.
But what many students want to know is why we have to take all these standardized tests. Reporter Mandy Moen decided to find out.
Standardized tests usually aren't that much fun, but there is a good reason to why we take them.
The ACT has kind of evolved a little bit, so in recent years, I would say even since COVID, the ACT, a lot of the colleges don't require it as an admission criteria anymore. However, students should still take it because they do a lot of merit-based scholarships. And part of looking at those merit-based scholarships is kind of, they use the ACT score still.
I think that it's more for, in my eyes, for scholarships and for the level of school you want to get into.
While these tests can be difficult, there are ways to prepare.
Everybody kind of, if I could generalize, I think that there is a lot of students that just struggle taking tests in general. And I think any time that you have the opportunity to practice taking those tests, because when you think about anytime you're getting a certification, so let's say you want to be a nurse or you want to be a doctor, you want to go to law school or some of those, they always have these kind of high stakes standardized tests. So whenever you can practice, and right now, I think the risk level isn't as high. So for example, that last question, when I said, you know, admissions aren't really looking at the number per se, you're still going to get admitted to a college, then the risk of taking that test is a lot lower. So take that opportunity to practice.
The more you can practice taking tests, so that's why it's so important when you're taking your MCAs to actually get into it, to work as hard as you can, that grit and determination, studying for an exam. And it's not to get into college as much as it is anything, so many things you do in life, you have to take a test to be able to do them. To be a teacher, you have to take a test. Okay, you have to pass your praxis. To be a real estate agent, you have to take state tests, national tests. To be an electrician, to be a plumber, to be, you know, so many different occupations nowadays, you have to be able to take tests. So getting yourself to be able to relax and let the best of you come out in a test is extremely important. Learning good test-taking techniques, hugely important.
They may not be much fun, but they are important, so best of luck on all your testing. This is Maddie Moen.
Thank you, Maddie. Our final story comes from the Early Childhood Center.
Our enrollment here in Pillager continues to grow more and more as families choose our community and our school as the place they want to be. And one of the top reasons is the success of our Early Childhood Center. Here's Lexi Seeley with the story.
A lot of good things are happening around Pillager schools, one of the brightest spots being the early childhood.
We're a one-stop shop, so parents who have their elementary kids or middle school, high school kids, it's all under one roof. So I think that's a really good advantage. And we have programming for 4-year-olds, all-day programming, which school readiness is supposed to be getting kids ready for kindergarten, providing those opportunities for them to get ready for kindergarten, and we offer all-day programming. So I think not every day, a couple days a week, and so that helps children get ready for kindergarten. Then we also have childcare, which helps with on the days that kids aren't in school readiness, or if families need childcare, we can help provide that for families as well.
With great success does come some problems.
We don't have enough space. I mean, we wish we could have more classrooms and more space to provide more spots for children and younger. Right now we serve 4-year-olds. It'd be nice to have more space to start even younger than that.
Despite those challenges, everyone agrees that early childhood education is extremely important for young children.
Early childhood is very important, as you said. The earlier we can get kids in learning anything from social emotional development skills to academics, the more success they have later on in life.
The main fundamentals would be the fine motor skills, would be like the gross motor skills, and learning how the letters are, the numbers are. We're learning patterns, we're learning, we're learning their colors, their basics. So this is their first years in school, so we're trying to give them a positive learning experience.
The early childhood will continue to be a great place for the children to start their education career.
This program gives them a beginning step before kindergarten. So it's only 2-3 days a week that they come. So it's a great program so they can learn academics / they'll get to be around kids their own age.
It's such an important piece that I just wish that every kid in our school district would have access to high quality programming from birth to 5. I think that would help social emotionally, and I think that would really give our kids the start that we want them to have.
I'm Alexis Seeley for HNN News.
Thank you, Lexi. Well, that's all the time we have here for this edition of HNN News. For all of us here at HNN, I'm Andy Grell.
And I'm Levi Meinke. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.